Ever see a gorgeous plant and just think, wow, I need that in my garden? Well, you might want to pump the brakes because some of the most beautiful plants out there are actually illegal to grow here in Canada. And the reasons why are pretty wild. So let's get right into it. Here's the crazy part. These botanical outlaws, they don't always look like monsters. They can be beautiful, they can look totally harmless, and they could be hiding in plain sight. So the real question is one of these fugitives growing in your yard or maybe your neighbor's right this second? And that quote really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. This isn't just about some obscure gardening rule. We're talking about hidden dangers that could literally be right outside your door. We're going to uncover the toxic imposters, the property destroyers, and yeah, even the waterway wreckers you absolutely need to know about. Okay, first up, the toxic imposters. These are the plants that look like supermodels but have a seriously nasty side. And I'm not talking about a little rash. These plants pose a direct physical threat to you, your family, and your pets. Everybody, meet giant hogweed. I mean, look at it. It gets super tall, has these huge umbrella-like white flowers. It honestly looks like something from a fairy tale. And in fact, gardeners used to bring it over as this big, impressive showpiece. But that beauty is just a cover for something way more sinister. Now this is where it gets terrifying. It's not the sap itself that gets you right away. It's a chemical reaction. Once that sap is on your skin, sunlight, just regular old sunlight, acts like a switch. It activates the sap and causes these horrific, blistering burns that can put you in the hospital and leave you with scars for life. This is no joke. And giant hogweed isn't working alone. You've also got wild parsnip. You see this stuff along country roads all the time. Well, it's got the same kind of defense mechanism. Its sap plus sunlight equals incredibly painful chemical burns. It's a pretty powerful reminder that some of nature's beauty is best appreciated from way, way back. All right, let's move on to our next group of outlaws. These guys might not burn your skin, but trust me, they will destroy your property. Say hello to the stranglers, invasive plants that cause just unbelievable structural and ecological damage. So this is Japanese knotweed. Back in the Victorian era, people loved it. They thought, great, it grows fast, it looks kind of like bamboo, perfect privacy screen. The reality? It's a monster. It's an absolute nightmare. Its roots are so strong, so aggressive, that they can literally grow through concrete foundations, smash through asphalt driveways, you name it. And this isn't just some gardening problem, it's a financial disaster waiting to happen. Get this, the problem is so bad in places like BC and Ontario that some banks will straight up deny you a mortgage if the property has a Japanese knotweed problem. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about how serious this is. And it's not just about raw power, it's about speed. Just look at these other guys. You've got kudzu, they call it the vine that ate the South, because it can grow a foot a day. Then there's oriental bittersweet, whose vines just wrap around and strangle full-grown trees to death. And mile-a-minute weed? Yeah, it pretty much lives up to its name, completely smothering farm fields. These things are relentless. And the threat doesn't just stop at the shoreline. Our next category of banned plants takes us right into the water. These are the aquatic nightmares, and they are choking out Canada's precious lakes, rivers, and wetlands. So this is Hydrilla. It actually started out pretty innocently. People would buy it at pet stores for their home aquariums. But once this stuff escaped into the wild, it just became a monster. It grows into these super thick mats that are so dense they clog up boat propellers, block water pipes, and basically suck all the life out of the water, killing off fish. And if you're wondering just how seriously the government takes this plant, just look at this number, $10,000. That's the maximum fine you could get for just having, moving, or selling Hydrilla. That number alone should tell you exactly how big of a threat we're talking about here. And the list just keeps going. You've got water chestnut, which makes swimming a nightmare with its sharp, spiny nuts. Then you've got European frogbit and yellow floating heart, which create these dense floating carpets that block all the sunlight, killing everything underneath. Each one of them is a specialist in destruction. Okay, so you know the threats, you know the bad guys. What do you actually do if you think you found one? Pay attention, because this is probably the most important part of this whole explainer. Knowing how to react safely is absolutely key. All right, listen very carefully, especially if you think it's one of those toxic plants. Rule number 1, 2, and 3 is stay back. Do not touch it. Don't even think about touching it. Don't try to pull it. Don't try to cut it. From a safe distance, snap a few clear pictures. Then, and this is the most important part, you report it. Let the professionals handle this one. Now for the property destroyers, like that Japanese knotweed, how you get rid of it is everything. And whatever you do, do not put it in your compost. A tiny little piece of its root can survive and start the entire nightmare all over again, spreading the problem. You have to bag it up, seal it tight, and send it directly to the landfill. You know, when it comes down to it, it's all about awareness. Just by knowing what to look for, and more importantly, what not to do, you become a huge part of the solution in protecting our homes, our environment, and our communities. Hey, if you found this guide useful and maybe learned something that could help keep your neighborhood safe, do us a solid and hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. All right, now, the threat from these plants doesn't just stop at our parks and backyards. It goes a lot deeper. We have to talk about one final and really critical category: the silent killers, the ones that are threatening our entire food supply. These aren't just garden pests. These are major threats to Canadian farming, with huge economic consequences. And this table just lays it all out. You've got witchweed, which is a parasite that can wipe out up to 80% of a corn crop. 80%! Then there's Palmer amaranth, a superweed that's resistant to herbicides and can just take over a whole field. And the golden nematode, a microscopic pest so destructive to potatoes that it can cause entire areas to be quarantined. So at the end of the day, whether it's sap that can melt your skin, roots that can shatter your foundation, or a pest that can wipe out a farmer's livelihood, these plants are a serious reminder. Just because it's green doesn't mean it's good. And that kind of leaves us with one final big question, doesn't it? A lot of these plants we've talked about were brought here on purpose. People loved them. So it really makes you wonder, what harmless plant are people buying from garden centers today that's going to wind up on tomorrow's most wanted list? Something to think about.